It was a day of remembrance in Hazard as family, friends, and prominent political figures gathered at Hazard First Baptist Church to remember the life and legacy of Hazard businessman LD Gorman. He died Saturday at the age of 97. WYMT photojournalist Dakota Makris talked to some who say they will never forget the man called the Patriarch of the Mountains.
Born and raised here, he lived in coal camps when he was really young in Leatherwood and busy. He worked in banks. He owned Citizens Bank, was a co-founder of WSGS, and was a coal operator, and always kind of scheming and dreaming. Well, he cared, and he just loved folks here. That was his main thing. Every day he got up and tried to figure out how to create new jobs, new opportunities in Hazard and Peary County, and he never left.
I could spend the rest of the year talking about the great things he has done and what a personal friend he was, what a leader he was for this community and county, state, and nation.
Whenever there was a need in Eastern Kentucky, he would call me and say, "Joe, we need to do this. You know, everybody's depending on us to help."
He was such a class act all the time. A caring, good man. And I can't tell you, I can't talk a whole lot about this because, I mean, he's really meaningful to me.
If he did something publicly, it was to draw others to that cause. Most of his stuff, no one knew what he did. And I think he wanted it that way.
This is a legacy that it doesn't go out of style. LD never goes out of style, as you know. And I think that's something that we're all will take with us, and we have to use it and keep it well.
We would like to thank WSGS Radio for providing us with all those pictures of LD Gorman. And the family asked us not to record any of the service today, and we of course respected their wishes. Food insecurity issues in eastern Kentucky have only been made worse by the recent flood. With many community gardens washed out, local farmers markets are important as ever. With help from local and statewide nonprofits, the Knott County Farmers Market is offering free, fresh produce to the community.
It's really an honor to work with these food producers and to be here with the community and getting them the fresh local produce that we need out here in eastern Kentucky.
The Knott County Farmers Market will be open for the next 2 Tuesdays from 4 until 6 p.m. at the Heineman Extension Services building. Earlier today, the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky announced that last night's telethon raised more than $152,000 and that money is still being counted. WYMT's Olivia Calfee has more.
More than $152,000, all going to help the people of eastern Kentucky.
For right now, we know we're at least $152,000, and that is an amazing amount for a 3-hour event that, you know, we pulled together as a community of people wanting to help one another.
The Appalachia Rises Come Hell or High Water Telethon had special guests, such as T. Graham Brown, Halfway to Hazard, Tyler Booth, Taylor Austin Dye, and others. Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky CEO Jerry Roll says $1 million has already been distributed into the community.
Right now, we have already put out right at $1 million, and we have about another $1 million pledged to go out in the next couple of weeks. And we will continue to do that as money continues to come in.
The foundation has around 8,000 applications for assistance right now. Rolls says around 2,000 families had a total loss of their home, plus nearly 4,000 homes were damaged with partial loss, and more than 25,000 people in eastern Kentucky were directly affected.
That direct support is going to go to those 8,000 households who have come to us and said, we are suffering and we need help. And our job is to get them what they need.
Rolls says she knows that more events to raise money will continue happening around our community because that's what the people of eastern Kentucky do.
That's the spirit of eastern Kentucky. That's what community does. So will there be more? Absolutely. Do I know what they're going to be? Nope. But it doesn't matter because we come together to help each other.
Thanks to people coming together, we know more than $152,000 will be in our communities very soon. In Floyd County, Olivia Calfee, WYMT Mountain News.
And you can always still donate money to the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. The link is on WYMT.com. Senator Mitch McConnell says he is not satisfied with the federal funding for those here in eastern Kentucky. The flooding more than 1 month ago destroyed homes and businesses and caused significant damage also to schools, roads, bridges, and water systems. It also took 39 lives. Governor Andy Beshear, who was in Bowling Green today, was asked if he was also unsatisfied with the federal government's response. He said there's been some progress, but he's still not completely satisfied either.
I was very vocal, especially early on, that they had to do better. Since my first criticism of them, the approval rate's gone from about 37% to 52%. And the amount of money that each person who's applying is getting is going up, but it is still not enough. This isn't unique to Kentucky. This has been a culture in FEMA that we need to change.
Senator McConnell said he's closely monitoring the situation and he's keeping open the potential of pushing for changes at FEMA. In the last month, we have not only seen how flooding has impacted people's homes, but how it has affected schools across the region. And today, several national and state Department of Education officials visited some of these schools to see how they can help. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has more on that.
While many students across the region have returned to school, schools like this one in Letcher County remain vacant, damaged by floodwaters.
And it's just been devastating to see the destruction in the community, and just wanted to see how we could be here to help.
To see the damage firsthand, those with the U.S. Department of Education, the Kentucky Department of Education, and emergency management officials toured various schools in Letcher County on Tuesday.
We were really, at the beginning of this school year, hoping that this would be the first undisrupted year of learning since 2019-2020. Of course, in eastern Kentucky, that's not happening yet. So there's all the more pressure, urgency to get back in school and start restoring some sense of normalcy to their lives.
USDE officials say visits like this are important in helping these impacted districts get back on their feet.
We're going to use what we learned here to go back to the U.S. Department of Education, look at our Project Serve grant program, and see how we can support the communities that were impacted.
And for superintendents like Denise Yance with Letcher County Public Schools, receiving support from these education officials makes a difference.
It gives me a lot of relief to know that we're going to get the support we need to build back so that our kids can come to safe, clean learning environments every day, and that we can provide them with what they need.
Helping the devastated schools of today to continue shaping the eastern Kentuckians of tomorrow. In Letcher County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Education officials also visited Knott County schools and will continue their tour in Perry and Breathitt counties tomorrow. Letcher County Public School Superintendent Denise Yance says she hopes Letcher County schools will start back in mid-September.
Watching showers and storms finally push on out of the mountains. Much nicer conditions on the way as we head into the day tomorrow and on Thursday as well. A look outside the front door right now from WYMT here in Hazard. 81 degrees here in Perry County. You see the blue skies. We got some clouds over the sun right now, but otherwise not too bad. You see the last of our showers finally pushing on out. Some just south of Louisa there, a few east of Jackson, not far from Prestonsburg, north of Pikeville, eastern parts of Pike County, as well as into parts of Dickinson and Buchanan counties in Virginia. But that's it. That is the last of it, beginning to push through the region. We're almost done. That dry air pushing into the region. You see temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s right now. Dew points are dropping. Well, they'll be dropping shortly. 70s are really at 70 for most, so it's still very muggy outside. But look just to the northwest. Irvin's at 68, Moorhead's at 61, so's Lexington, and Louisville's at 58. So that drier air is working on in as we head through the rest of tonight. 74, 7 o'clock, the last of the storms pushing out. We've got just some fog to contend with overnight, 70 at 11, and back into the mid-60s in the 4 a.m. time frame. So I've got the latest on when we see some nicer weather coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you very much. Major new developments late today in a Johnson County death investigation. A warrant was served at a medical facility in Lexington following a case where a young girl was shot and killed. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office served an arrest warrant on Stacia Collins, who was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center in Paintsville, and he has been charged with the murder of his 12-year-old daughter, Stacia Collins. Stacia Collins was found with what investigators believe was a self-inflicted gunshot wound near Van Leer, and hours later his daughter's body was found about 2 miles away. Sheriff Doug Saylor says the investigation is still underway, but his deputies will not stop at nothing to ensure justice is served.
Follow any and every lead that we have come before us during this, and we have full intentions of prosecuting who we find to be responsible for this to the fullest extent of the law.
Deputy Tim Clark, the case's lead investigator, says more charges could be added in the weeks to come. So far, no date for a preliminary hearing has been set. We will have more on this tonight at 11. A former Kentucky jail employee is admitting to assaulting an inmate. Jeffrey Havens worked at the Eastern Kentucky Correctional Complex in West Liberty. The Justice Department says he held a handcuffed inmate on the ground and punched him multiple times with another corrections officer. Havens pleaded guilty to depriving the inmate of his civil rights. His sentencing is set for March. Governor Andy Beshear has directed flags at all state office buildings be lowered to half-staff tomorrow. The occasion is an observation of Overdose Awareness Day in Kentucky. In addition to lowering the flag from sunrise until sunset, the governor's mansion will be lit in purple, the designated color to show support for overdose awareness. Overdose Awareness Day is a global event held on August 31st each year to raise awareness of drug overdoses, to reduce the stigma of drug-related deaths, and to acknowledge the grief felt by families and friends as they remember those who have died or have a permanent injury as a result of a drug overdose. The search continues for a Kentucky lawmaker's missing vehicle. State Representative Sherilyn Stevenson says her white Chevy Tahoe was stolen last night. Stevenson was hosting a campaign fundraiser at 46 Solutions in Lexington. Around 7:30, she went outside and noticed the car was gone. Her vehicle, a white Tahoe that had her H88 legislative license plate, the 88 representing her Fayette County district. It's her personal vehicle, and she believes it was locked.
We have those folks out there with their own technology and knowledge of how the anti-theft systems work. They're cracking those codes on their keys.
She recommends protecting your vehicle by parking in a well-lit area, keeping your doors locked, and keeping your valuables out of sight. She says etching your VIN number in each window can give you added protection. Anyone with information on this, if you see that vehicle and that license plate, call Lexington Police.
Well, coming up as August comes to an end, we've got much nicer weather on the way. The complete breakdown is coming up. Plus,
we talked to one fire department about the grant funding it's receiving since the announcements made by Governor Beshear yesterday.
WYMT News app offers alerts on breaking stories as they